Yeah. So today we will be starting with our next project, notifications app. So about the project. So it is a notifications app where two different users get the notification if the other users likes, comments, or even shares his post, and the notification are sent in real time. To connect the React front-end part with the backend, Socket.io has been used. So basically, in this notifications app project, we are building a web app where two different users, whenever they either perform any event like liking or commenting or sharing a picture, sharing a post of the other user, then the other user will automatically get the notification regarding whatever the other user has performed in the real time. And basically this front end part is done with the help of React, and the back end we have used Socket.io. So Socket.io is basically used for the connecting both front end and the back end part. Technologies use React.js, CSS, React hooks, and Socket.io. So we will be using these four technologies. React.js, as we know, is used for the front end part, CSS for the designing part, React hooks is a necessity in today's React programming and production development part, and we have used use state as well as use effect hook as the most as these are the most important hooks as well. And then other than that, we have been used Socket.io, and Socket.io has been used to connect the front end with the back end part in the and thus have a real-time communication between the front end and the back end. So there are some functions inside Socket.io that we'll be using in our project. The next is React.js. So React.js is an open source JavaScript library that is used for building user interfaces specifically for single page applications. It is used for handling the view layer for web and mobile apps. React also allows us to create reusable UI components. So React.js is basically a JavaScript library used for building the front end part of the web development, and it is component based. So with the help of components, we can build very like it becomes very easy for building a website, and provides us with reusable UI components. So yeah, other than that, CSS. So CSS is a cascading style sheets language used to describe presentation of a document written in HTML or XML subheading. CSS describes how elements should be rendered or on screen, on paper, in speech, or in other media. Basically, CSS is for designing the whole application, and the whole designing part of the application is done with the help of CSS itself. Other than that, React hooks we have been using, and inside the React hooks are actually are the new addition in React 16.8, and they let you know use state and other React features without writing a class. So this is the one plus point of the React hooks. And in other projects, we'll be using two React hooks like use state hook as well as use effect hook. So the first of all, let's go to the use state hook. So use state hook is a hook that allows you to have state variables in functional components. And React has two types of components. One is class component, which are ES6 classes that extend from React, and the other is functional component. So we'll be using use state hook. Other than that, we'll also be using use effect hook. And when we want to perform something after each render of a component, then we can use the use effect hook. By using this hook, we can tell the React that our components need to be something after render, and by passing a function. By default, use effect hook runs after the first render and after every update. This basically happens when if the dependency array is left empty, then then that is the default case for a use effect hook, and it will render at least once, or you can say after every update. And the last and not least is Socket.io, and Socket.io is a library that enables real-time, bidirectional, and event-based communication between the browser and the server. And it consists of basically two things: Node.js server source or API, and the other one is JavaScript client library for the browser, which in our case is React.js, which can also run from Node.js source API. So here, the Node.js server, basically in case of that, we have been using Socket.io, and this JavaScript client library we have used React.js. So yeah, now let's start building the project. So yeah, so let's start with the production or building of our project. So before doing that, we need to create a development environment for our project. Basically, we need to create our React app, and for that we need to use the commands in the terminal: npx create React app, npx create React app, and the name of our app. So since we are building a notification app, so we will be using a name like app notification or notifications app, anything like that. So notification app, and we'll press enter. And after that, this VS Code will start creating our React app. Basically, it will start downloading and installing the necessary dependencies for our React app. Yeah, okay. So this cannot be created because this notification app does not stand out with the naming convention of our React app. So let's give it some other name. Create React app, and let's go with this project name. Yeah. So now, since this name is valid, so or basically this name does not violate any naming conventions. So it's now creating our React app with the name notification app, and this is download. This is basically installing the packages and downloading the necessary dependencies. Okay. So now our notification app, or you can say our React app, has been created, and so first of all, let's navigate to our app. So for that, let's open the folder. Yeah, and we'll go to this PC, and inside this we'll go to our C drive, then users, and here we can find our project notification app. So we'll select it and open this folder. So yeah, our folder is being opened. Yeah. So now after I've opened this folder, now we'll go to our source file, and inside this source file we'll be having a couple of old files like app.css, app.js. So first of all, we need to delete a couple of files like app.test.js along with logo.svg, report web vitals. We are going to delete this file, and yeah. So after deleting these files, we will go to our app.js file. Yeah. So now we'll go to our app.js file, and we need to remove this logo.svg from the import statement. So let's remove this, and now we'll also remove this whole section inside the return statement, and instead of that, let's put a h1 tag as of now, like hello world. Yeah, so now after writing hello world, we'll, so instead of that, let's write an h1 tag. Inside that, let's write hello world as of now, and let's save this. Now we need to remove index.js, some files also from index.js, like index.css will not be using in our project. Along with report web vitals, we'll remove this also, and we'll also remove report web vitals from here. Now we will save it, and we are going to delete this index.css file also. So let's delete index.css also. Yeah, so we have deleted this file also. Yeah, and now after doing these all things, we need to open a terminal, and inside our terminal we will be writing a command npm start for running this React app. Yeah, so now let's write our command npm start and enter. Now what exactly will happen is, uh, let's see the package.json file. Inside that there is a file with the name, there is an object with the name scripts that has start command, which we refers to React script start. So whenever we write npm start, basically the node package manager npm will start this or run this command React script start, which is basically focused, or basically which basically runs the React app. Yeah, and so after this, after these commands, we'll check our browser and we can find hello world, which is written inside the web browser. So now we will be moving on to the next part of our project, like creating the necessary and important components of our for our project. So yeah, after setting up the React environment, now next thing that we're gonna do is create different components. So first of all, let's create a header component. Yeah. So let's create the header file, and for that, we'll go to our source file and we'll create a new file of the name header.js, along with one more file of the name footer.js for basically having the footer part of our website, and we'll also be having another file of the name main.js, and this main.js will have the main functionality for our whole website. So let's create these three files, js files, and now um, let's like write the code inside each and every component. So first of all, let's go to our header.js, and we'll be using shortcut snippets. Yeah. So now we'll write RAFCE, and this will automatically complete the whole boilerplate code. And now let's write a header inside of it. Like, let's give it a class name of header, header, and inside this header, let's create one h1 tag and give it a name of notifications app. Yeah, and we'll save this, and now we will like import this component in our main app.js file. So for that, we need to write import header from header. Yeah, and now when we save this, we will not be able to see anything, but when we call header in this self-closing tag, then this will work. But here we cannot use different two different tags together at one time. They should be present inside a div or any other div component, or any um, basically we can provide a JSX fragment. So let's put these two tags inside this JSX fragment, and now we'll save this. And after that, when we go to our uh, browser, we can see hello world along with notifications app. So yeah, this clearly tells us that the components are working. And now, since we want the header to be having this notification app first, let's like swap those two tags, and this thing then can be achieved. Now when we save this, we can see notifications app at the top of the hello world in the R browser. So we'll do the same with the footer.js and along with the main.js. So let's go to our footer.js and again create um, RAFCE. And now inside this footer, we'll write anything like, first provided a class name of footer, and inside this we'll have an h3 tag that will have credits, anything like Ishan. I think this much is fine. And we'll also be having something inside the main.js, and inside this main, sorry, we'll give it a class name of uh, class name of main, and inside this we'll provide a h2 tag with name main file. Now when we save this, then inside our app.js file we can call all these three files. So let's remove this hello world and call main. And before calling name any of the other components, we need to import them first. So import main from main and import footer from footer. Now when we um, use these inside our uh, app function, we can see the all those header tags together inside our browser. Now when we save this, we can see all the three header tags together, basically header together. Now the next thing that we want to do is go to our app.css file and remove all these code inside of it, and just provide a font text aligns to be center. And when we do this, we need to like we can do one thing. Yeah, I think everything will now be uh, shifted to the center, because we have captured all the things or all the stuffs that are inside our, basically all the elements and all, by the use of this star. And by doing text align center, every text that is present in our browser will have its alignment to be put to center. So yeah, now let's create our main username and user page along with the submit option. So for that, we'll do that in the main.js file. So first of all, let's remove this h2 tag. Yeah, so now let's create another div of class name, login, because we will be having a login feature. And then inside of this login, we'll provide an input of type text along with a placeholder of username, and we'll close this input tag. We can do like this also. And now after this input tag, we'll be having a button tag for the submission part of our program, and we'll write login inside of this. Now when we save this and go to our browser, we'll be able to see a username along with a login button placed at the center. Now uh, the next thing that we can do is provide some style to this username and login. And yeah, let's do that. So yeah, so now let's go to our app.css file and give it a body of height, I think 100 view height, and display to be flex along with align items center, and justify content will also be center. Sorry. Now when we save this and go to our browser, we'll see everything is placed at the center. But yeah, there is a scroll bar coming up, so we can remove that by like giving it a view height of less. then 100, maybe 90. And when we save this now, it will be exactly at the center. So the next thing that we want to do is give this basically this input button, this text field and this login button some styling. So for that, let's give it some style. So let's give a login class a height of 50 vh along with display flex and flex direction to be column. So this flex direction column will basically align this both to the button as well as the text field to on the center. So now when we look, you can see this login button is placed at the bottom of this username text field. So yeah, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna provide the styling for this login button along with this text field also. So that for that, let's go and check out our main.js, and inside of this we need to provide some styling for the input part. So for that, we can do is, yeah, so now let's give the input also some styling. So input, and let's give it a width of maybe 40%. And when we check it, the width has decreased considerably. So let's increase this from 40% to maybe 70%. And now let's see what happens. Yeah, the username has increased. So now let's create another div of class name, login, because we will be having a login feature. And then inside of this login, we'll provide an input of type text along with a placeholder of username, and we'll close this input tag. We can do like this also. And now after this input tag, we'll be having a button tag for the submission part of our program, and we'll write login inside of this. Now when we save this and go to our browser, we'll be able to see a username along with a login button placed at the center. Now uh, the next thing that we can do is provide some style to this username and login. And yeah, let's do that. So yeah, so now let's go to our app.css file, and give it a body of height, I think 100 view height, and display to be flex along with align items center, and justify content will also be center. Sorry. Now when we save this and go to our browser, we'll see everything is placed at the center. But yeah, there is a scroll bar coming up, so we can remove that by like giving it a view height of less than 100, maybe 90. And when we save this now, it will be exactly at the center. So the next thing that we want to do is give this basically this input button, this text field and this login button some styling. So for that, let's give it some style. So let's give a login class a height of 50 vh along with display flex and flex direction to be column. So this flex direction column will basically align this both to the button as well as the text field to on the center. So now when we look, you can see this login button is placed at the bottom of this username text field. So yeah, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna provide the styling for this login button along with this text field also. So that for that, let's go and check out our main.js, and inside of this, we need to provide some styling for the input part. So for that, we can do is yeah. So now let's give the input also some styling. So input, and let's give it a width of maybe 40%, and when we check it, the width has decreased considerably. So let's increase this from 40% to maybe 70%, and now let's see what happens. Yeah, the username has increased. Let's leave it like this and provide a padding of maybe like 12 pixels and a background color of blue, and then changing it from dark blue to light blue. Now when we save this, we can see the username button has a uh, faint bluish tint to it, but now this doesn't look so good, and we need to provide a sizing for the button also, this login button also. So let's do that. Let's target the button and give it a width of 70%. No, let's give it a width of 60%. It should be a little bit having a lesser width, and then provide it a padding of 10% again, 10 pixels, and a background color of um, maybe blue violet, but to a lighter blue. Yeah, this thing is good. I think the input will look better if there is no background color. So let's remove this and then save it. Now, yeah, now this looks fine, but the sizing is still not good. So for that, I think let's give both button and uh, input of the same width. Maybe let's give it a width of 56% and this width of 60%. Now when we save this, I hope, yeah, this looks somewhat neat, and there should also be some margin between the two. So let's give it a margin top of 10 pixels, and now when we see, there is a margin between of 10 pixels between this username and the login button. And next thing that we're gonna do is give this username text field also some styling. We'll also provide this button border of maybe none, will look fine, but we'll provide it a border radius of 5 pixels, and cursor to be pointer. Now when we save this looks much better. We can also add a animation feature to it, like button hover, and give it a transition of sorry, transition of 2 seconds is, and change the background color from that to aqua, and we can do that same from to this also, transition of 2 seconds. Now when we save this, we can see a hovering effect over the button, and this looks perfect. Okay, yeah. So now we need to provide a change, or basically use some hooks for the usage of our for like giving it a username and changing the value and submitting a value. So for that we'll be using useState hook, and let's first of all import it from React. And now we'll be creating two variables, const username and set username. And initially we'll be having null value for it, and then we'll also be having another variable of the name user and set user. And to this will also be having a initial state of null string. Okay, so now after this we need to change give it an on change function, so that whenever the value changes or whenever we write anything inside of this input, automatically the value gets updated to whatever we have written. So for that we'll give a user on change function, and inside of this we'll have a function, basically an arrow function, and this will be having a set username, and inside of this we will be giving it a e.target dot value. And yeah, now when we save this, this will work fine, I think. Like we can, yeah, and we'll also be having an on click function for this login button, and inside of this we will be having a set user to username. Yeah, now when we save this, we will also be we can also write a console.log for just checking the value of maybe user. And now let's check our browser. For that, this we cannot use like this, we need to have, yeah, an arrow function. And now when we save this, when we check this out, we can see yeah. So now after this arrow function has been placed there, now when we go to our browser, we can see let's open the source code console file. And now when we write anything here like Ishan and login, we can see Ishan getting console logged, and this is the value. It has a value of 5 because first of all this text field had I and then S and then H and then A and then N. So basically there had been 5 changes. So this on change function will has captured this 5 times, and the console.log was just for the user. So yeah, Ishan is getting displayed here. So the next thing is, yeah, so now let's create a file of name navbar, um, navbar.js. Yeah, so now we'll be creating two different files, one with one of the name navbar.js. So let's create a new file of the name navbar, and we'll also create one more file of the name card.js. Okay, so now we'll go into our navbar.js, and we'll just like write anything inside of this navbar component, like maybe navbar, and save this. And we'll also go to our card.js and do the same for the card also. One second, do again RAFCE, or maybe just const card is equal to, and inside this we'll have a return of, and at the bottom export default card. And inside this return, let's give it a div of card and save this. Now in our main.js file, we'll like import these two files, not in the main, in the app.js file. And basically we should do this inside the main.js because the app.js file will have these three files at all times. So inside our main.js file, let's import navbar along with card. And now after importing these two card and navbar components, we need to check if only if the user has logged in, then only we need to show the contents of this navbar and card. So for that we need to have a conditional statement, and that we will do by inside this main component, whatever is this. Yeah, so for that we will be giving a checking for user. If the user has logged in, then inside of this we will have some contents. Other than that, we will have other content. So let's paste all of this inside this. And now inside of this we will be having a JSX fragment, and we will be putting both this navbar along with card component inside of this. So whenever there is a user, or if the user is logged in, then only we will be able to see the navbar and card components. Other than that, we will be having the rest of the components inside this else part or the else block. So let's check this out. So yeah, so let's check this out. When we like log in by any name like Ishan and login, we can see navbar along with the card written inside of this part. So this is basically the main thing, like the navbar and card. One more thing we need to do is this notification app is showing in the middle. We do not need that. So for that, yeah, so these things will be visible. So now let's remove the header component itself. Like I don't think see any point of having that, so we can remove this header component as a whole. So let's go to our app.js file, and from there let's remove this header. Yeah, now save this, and in the header let's delete this header file also. Yeah, now when we save this, we need to remove this header from the import, and now when we save this, it will work fine. Now yeah, so now when we like do login or anything like that, Ishan, we can see the navbar and the card. So yeah, so now we need to do a couple of stuffs. First of all, let's design this navbar. Yeah, so now we also need to show the user that has currently logged in inside that inside the data along with the data of navbar and card. So for that, let's give a span tag a class name of username, and let's give it a value of user. Now when we save this and go to our browser, whenever we log in, like Ishan, and we log in, we can see Ishan along with the navbar card, the two components. We can also see the user that has currently logged in, and now we need to get this user, or whatever the user is there, to the top right corner of our browser. So that we can do that by going to our app.css file and targeting the username and setting the value of it to be position absolute, and now top, and now top to be 15 pixels, along with right also to be 15 pixels. We can also change the color of it to maybe yellow, and like choose any color, maybe light orange, and change the text size or font size of like 15 pixels. And now when we save this, we can see change over there. Like whenever we log in, we can see Ishan at the top right corner with the 15 pixels of font size and yellowish color or orangish color. So let's increase this from 15 pixels to 35 pixels, and also change the color of this from this to maybe dark blue. And now when we go there, we can see the username. So yeah, this looks fine, I think. Now let's focus on the next part. Okay, now we will target our main component and give it a width of 50 vh, along with a border radius of maybe 5 pixels, and a border of 1 pixel solid, maybe green yellow. And now when we save this, we can see a navbar that is completely inside a div, inside a box of colored green yellow. So let's increase this, change this color to a darker tone, like dark green will work fine. And now this looks good. Yeah, so now we'll go to our navbar. So yeah, this thing is done. Now we need to go to, yeah, so now we need to basically focus on the icons. We need to have focus on some designing part. So for that, we need to first of all create this navbar, designing of this navbar component. And so yeah, let's go to our navbar component and give it a class name of navbar. Yeah, and inside this component, let's give it a span of class name logo, and inside of this we should write maybe notifications app. Yeah, now after this we can write another div of class name icons, and sorry. And now we will close this. Yeah, so we will provide it with a div of class name icons, and inside this div we will have another image tag of class name icon image, and we'll provide it with the source of we'll use that, and also an alternate text, and we'll close this. Now let's add this source and alternate thing also. So yeah, so now inside this source we can provide this notification. Yeah, so now we'll need to change make a couple of changes, because when we look into our browser application, we see this whole login part at the left top corner. So let's make it at the center. So for that we'll do justify content to be center, and give it a margin left of 90 pixels. Now when we save this, we'll see it will all this will get aligned at the center. Now now what we need to do is we need to uh, design the notification app, basically the notification top part of our application. And the card, we'll do that in the next video. But for today's for this video we'll be focusing on the notifications app. So now, yeah, so now let's create another div of class name counter that will basically count the number on the top of the notifications and other stuffs. And now, yeah, so now let's provide this with the image of the notification. And we know that I have basically downloaded some images of notification setting and email, and others I'll download it and paste it in this folder as we go along. Yeah, so now we will be basically importing this image into our image tag, and for that we'll be placing this source with the notification file. And now when we save this, we'll be able to see this notification icon. And similarly, we can also paste settings icon and email icon again, like by the same way. But now we will be focusing on the designing part. So for that, let's go to app.css, and inside this we will change the styling of image, basically icon image, and give it the width and height of 20 pixels, height of 20 pixels along with the width of 20 pixels. So now when we save this, we can see our notification, this icon is like is of the proper size. And yeah, so now let's do the further steps. And now we will be basically focusing, because this whole thing is inside this navbar div. So let's design this navbar div. So for that, navbar, and inside this we will have a height of 50 pixels along with a background color of maybe blue violet, and we will just make it a little bit lighter, along with display of flex and align items to center, and justify content space around, along with color white. Now when we save this, we'll see When we log in like Ishan, we can see the notification app. Basically the designing the whole notification app, basically the heading, or you can say the heading of this card this application has got the color along with the bell icon and the and even the whatever the counter was present. Now similarly we'll also paste three other images. So for that we'll go to our navbar.js and we'll copy this whole thing and then just copy paste it 3 times, and we will change this icon image from of this notification to settings and email. But for that we need to first import it. So import settings from settings.png, and now we will use this inside of this. So settings, and we'll also import the message from email.png. And now when we save this and give it message, we'll be able to see three icons together, but they are on the same column. So we need to also we need to display them in a flex manner. So we can do that by going into our icons class and giving it a display of flex. Now when we see this, all of them will be on the same line. Now for the text part, the counter part, we'll go inside our navbar.js and also tackle the counter. So how can that be done? Like we need to get all the counter below the respective notifications. So we will just copy this whole stuff and we'll just change this from notification to settings along with this to message. And now when we save this, we can see all of them inside the same icons div and having the respective counter values. And now let's provide a margin left of like maybe 5 pixels to 10 pixels. So that can be done inside an icon class and provide it a margin left of 10 pixels. Now when we save this, there will be a margin of 10 pixels in the left side. So yeah, this is done. Now we'll move on towards the card designing part. Yeah, and now we will also be for changing the icons in to cursor. Like cursor can point to pointer, and now when we go, we can see it is turning automatically to pointer. And other than that, we'll also like change the counter. So for that, we'll target this counter and have its width to be 5 pixels along with height of also 5 pixels, background color of red, and border radius of 50% so that it is curved, padding of 5 pixels, font size 12 pixels, display flex, and align item center with justify content also center. After that, we can clearly see the notifications will be inside a red circle and aligned properly. So now we will move on towards the designing of the card section. Yeah. So now, in this lecture, we will be basically starting with the designing part of our card .js file, and for that, first of all, we need to like import. Yeah, one more thing, we need to. There is a data.js file that I've created, inside of which it contains a JSON data having two different IDs and usernames along with the respective full name and post image. So we'll be using this data for performing the interactions like, comment, share, and info. We'll be performing these interactions with this data, and so for that we need to import, or you can say have the or take the value of these data in our program. So for that we'll be using props, and first of all, let's have a variable that will take the value of this prop. So let's give it a name of post here. And now one more thing, let's go to our main.js file, and we need to import data because we'll be sending this data. uh, yeah let's give it a name of post from data. Yeah. Now what we'll be doing is, yeah, so now in our main.js file we'll be importing this data. So we'll write import. Let's give it a name of post from post data. And now we need to have the navbar features in every time, but the card feature should have all those JSON data one by one along with whole of the card component. So that can be done with the help of map function. So like we can do it like, let's give it uh, a function of post dot map, and inside of this map we'll be having a variable of name post, and we'll be taking this value, and inside of this, let's remove this card first, and remove this also. Yeah. Inside of this we will be having our card component, so card, and let's give it a key of um, post.id because every id is unique, and now in the post we'll pass post. Yeah. Now when we save this, okay, there is an error, data not found. So yeah, so okay, so the error is that we haven't used default export, so this is the naming problem is coming here. So for that, let's go to our data.js and remove this export from here, and we will write at the bottom export default post. And now when we save this, the error will not be present there. Okay, so now the next thing that we're gonna do is basically we will be first of all we'll go to our main.js file. Yeah. And now no, we'll be going to our card.js file, and now we'll be using this post inside our card. So for that, yeah, so for that so for that we are going to give this div a class name of card first. This a class name of card. So let's give it a card, and then inside this div we'll create one more div of class name info, that will basically be having the info, all these info of this JSON data. And now inside of this we will be having an image tag with source uh, having post dot post image img, and alternate will be uh, like anything like image, and along with the class name of, like we can provide any class name like user image, user post, and we'll end this. Now basically the value of that JSON data is coming inside this post object, and we are using that only. So now when we go to our browser, yeah, we can see that the two pictures are coming, but now we need to like optimize the size, height, and width of the picture so that it fits and fits inside this basically inside this div container. So like we can do that. Like first of all, we need to provide another a span tag also for like showing what the what is who is actually the user, and inside this span tag we will be writing post dot full name. And now when we save this, we can see uh, full name also inside just beneath every post. So yeah, now like that only we will be basically uh, using this, and I think it will be better if I have this just above the image, so it will look a little better. Yeah, when we save down, yeah, name along with their respective photos. So yeah, now what we gonna do is we need to create another div of the name of the class name interactions, and inside this div we will be providing the buttons, the additional heart button, chat button. Basically, heart button is just for the like is just in replacement or substitute for the like button. Chat will be for comment, and along with send will be for share, and there is one more with the name info. So we'll be using these three. So for that, first of all, we will be having an image tag, image src, and inside this we will be providing heart. So how can we do that? So first of all, we'll be writing heart dot png, sorry, dot png, and now we will have an alternate inside which we'll write like button, and we will have it give it a class name of card icons, and yeah. Now when we save this, one second, heart is not defined. Okay, because we haven't imported this. So let's import heart from heart dot png. Now now we can just write here heart, and this will work fine. Sorry, capital H. Yeah. Now when we go to our app, we can see both of the pictures will be having a heart button. So similarly, we will be placing all the different types of buttons. So for that, let's import the other buttons too, like import comment from chat.png, and likewise we'll also import um, share from send.png, and import info from info.png. Now we'll be using these three interactions again together. So image src is equal to comment alt comment button class name of card icons. And similarly, we'll just copy this and let's just remove the values from here, like share and share button along with last one will be info and provide it with info. Now when we save this, when we go to our file, we can see all the three buttons together for both the posts. Yeah. Now let's refresh first, and now when we log in, Ishan, as soon as we log in, we'll be directed to this page, which will have the two photos along with the one who have like uploaded the photo, and the person who has logged in will have the name at the right side. So now let's yeah. So now we'll go to our app.css file and target the card class. So card, and inside this we will be giving it a height of 280 pixels. And now when we save this, we can see the height of our card is 280 pixels, but we still cannot see the top of our nav bar. So yeah, so now we'll be targeting the card component and card div. So inside this we will give it a height of 280 pixels. And now when we save this, we can see the contents are like the whole card is has a height, and but this we cannot still see the notification bar. So now we need to so now we will write info and give it a styling of display flex along with align items, center, padding of 5 pixels, font weight of 500, and font size of 14 pixels, and a font size of 14 pixels. Now when we save, so we will also be having user image along with the post image. Like I like believe it will look better. So user image. Let's give our JSON data a user image also. And currently I'm leaving it blank because we haven't found the image. So yeah, and then image, and now we'll go to our yeah, and now we'll go to a new tab and we will like search for some images. I think this looks fine. Any image, it does not matter. So we'll copy the image address and paste it in the user image. This will basically be like a user profile picture. And okay, we also need to give one more image. So let's do this for this image and paste it here. Now when we save this, yeah, Now the next thing that we're gonna do is we'll go to our card.js file and we'll, instead of post image, let's give it user image. And now when we save this, we can see, uh, let's delete this, and yeah, now we can see uh, Ishan login. Both of the images are coming, but the thing is that the my user image is very big, so we need to like make this user image uh, of the same height and dimensions. So we can do that by going to our app.css file and use targeting the user image img. But before that, we need to first of all make this class name of user image. And now when we save this, now we can work on it, and we'll give this a width of 30 pixels along with a height of 30 pixels, border radius of 50% because we want it round, and object fit cover and margin right 10 pixels. Now when we see this, we can see both of the images has been like placed perfectly, just right to our names. But it will look better if the images are present in the left of the usernames or full names. So we can do that by just going to our card.js and giving the image tag, uh, pasting it before the span. So now when we save this, we will be able to see the image and then the username, basically the full name. So now, yeah, this looks fine. The next step that we want to do is we will be having the post image. So for that, let's also have the post image in our application. Yeah, now so we will focus on the designing part of the interactions div, and inside this we will be giving it a display of flex along with align item center and padding of 5 pixels from top and bottom and 10 pixels from left and right. So now when we save this, we can see they have a top and bottom padding of 10 pixels, uh, and sorry, 5 pixels, and a margin of right and left of 5 pixels. But we also need to have give some distance between the images, basically separation between the images. So we can do that by um, giving the card icon. One second, I hope my name is correct. Main.js, card.js, yeah. So inside this card icons, yeah, we need to give this card icons name. Yeah, so inside this, we will give a width of maybe like 15 pixels and a height of 16 pixels. 15 pixels will work good, I think, on cursor pointer, because we may want to make it clickable, and margin right of 10 pixels. Now when we save this, we can see perfectly the basically all the icons are aligned together. And now, yeah, and now we will also be we'll do that for the post image of the user. So for that, we'll go to our car.js, and after the span basically outside this div, the info div, we will be posting the picture, and for that we will give it a tag of image and source of post image, and yeah, not underscore, post image along with alternate name of image and a class name of post image. Now when we save this, we can see the pictures also, but they are quite big. So what we can do is we need to fit them. So okay. So now let's design this post image. For that, we'll go to our app.css file. We'll target post image, and inside this post image, we will give it a width of 100% along with a height of 200 pixels and object fit cover. Now when we see this, we can see the pictures are perfectly aligned inside this notifications app. Yeah. So now let's give a functionality of the clicking part of the like button, and for that we will go to our card.js file, and inside this we'll be using a use state hook. So for that we'll like use const like liked comma set liked, and initially uh, the value of this would be false, and in below the interactions we will just give it a conditional rendering of if liked. Then we'll give this, and other than that this. So because the like button has been clicked, so we'll put this inside of this parenthesis, and the other rest part we'll put inside the else block. Okay, we need to give it JSX fragment. Yeah, use state is not defined. Okay, so we need to define use state also. So for that, import use state from React. Okay, now all the errors are gone. Okay, so now one more thing. When this has been clicked, um, we need to provide different, basically different source like heart. Like we can use a different image, heart filled maybe. So for that, we need to just find the a red image. Yeah. So for that, we need to find the picture of a red heart image, and we will be importing that in place of this heart. So let's do that. Yeah. So now we have a heart filled .png image, and we'll be using that only. So before doing that, we need to import it first. Import heart filled from heart filled.png, and now we'll be using this heart filled, and when we save this we go. Yeah, and when we save this, we can see there hasn't been any change, but when we make this use state value from false to true, then automatically this gets replaced by a red heart image. Yeah, so now since when we go there, we when the value of that is true, the image turns red, but the other icons are not present. So for that, we need to copy all the three icons also, and paste it inside this uh, parenthesis. And this is showing error because we haven't used a DJSX fragment or any div inside which all of this is enclosed. So yeah, copy this and just place it inside of this JSS fragment. Now when we save this, we can see all the other icons as well. but we want to add functionality to it. So how can we do that? So for that, we need to add an on-click function as, and we can do that by going to our like button, which is here, and going to our like button and give it an on-click functionality, on-click, and inside of this, we'll just make set like to false. Sorry, true. And initially we'll make this false. Now when we save this, we can see Ishan, and when we log in, yeah. So we'll provide it an on-click function of, and inside this we'll just give a handle notification, a handle like maybe, and maybe handle notification. Yeah, and we'll need to define this as well. So for that, let's just make a const handle notification, and since it is an arrow function, inside of this we'll put set liked to be true. Now whenever we click that picture, okay, one more thing, initially the use state should be false. Yeah, now there will not be any red any image, but when we click it, it will turn red automatically. So the functionality has been done. And when we have liked an image, we need not unlike it. So yeah. Yeah, so in our next video, we will be basically focusing on the server side part, basically the backend part, and for that we will have the functionality of Socket.io, the setting up of Socket.io, and the different functions that we are going to use in our project of Socket.io. So yeah. So yeah, now for the next step, we will be introducing Socket.io inside our program, inside our project. So before doing that, we need to first of all create a folder of the name Socket.io. So first of all, let's go to our notification app and give it a project, give it a file, create a folder of the name. So yeah, so now let's create a folder of the name socket for the functionality and backend part of our project. So we'll create a folder of the name socket, and yeah, and inside this socket folder we will be having all the functionalities of for our project. So let's first go into our socket folder. So for that, let's open our terminal, and now we'll do cd socket, and after doing and after doing that, now we are inside the socket folder. So now we will do npm I, yeah, and so now we'll be writing npm init dash y. So after writing this, the this command will automatically create a package.json file inside this socket.io folder. So yeah, it will take some time. Yeah, and after the this has been done, now we can see in our socket folder there is a package.json file. Now inside the package.json file we can find that our main file is index.js and different types of other things like version and description. So now we'll install socket.io for our project. So npm install I socket.io. So when we write npm I socket.io, it will install socket.io for our project inside the client socket folder, and it will automatically create a node modules folder for socket.io, for socket yeah, folder. Now, when we see in package.json file, there is a socket.io which also has a version, and now we'll also install nodemon. So it will also take some time, and nodemon is very helpful for watching, or basically look automatically rendering our project backend project when any changes occur in our project. So nodemon proves to be very much helpful. So yeah, it will take some time. Yeah, so now the next thing that we're gonna do is we need to change the scripts of this script file from script, and we'll provide it with nodemon nodemon index.js and then comma. Now when we save this, we can use nodemon anytime, just by writing nodemon scripts. Actually, we can write anything here. It will be better if we write start, because in our React file also, we are for running our React program, we are writing npm start. So if we write here start, then it will be much easier for us to like run this nodemon also. And just by writing npm start, our nodemon will start working. Yeah, so now for checking if our nodemon works, we'll go to our socket folder, uh, and we'll create a file of name index.js, and inside this we'll just write console.log, anything like log anything like maybe hello. And if I save this, so now let's run our nodemon app. So for that, let's write nodemon index.js, and this will automatically run our nodemon file. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, we are in the notifications app. So first of all, we need to go to our uh, uh, so first of all, we need to go to our sockets file, and then we need to write this command. So let's go on, create a new terminal, and inside this we will be writing cd socket and then npm, sorry, nodemon index.js. Now it will run our nodemon file, and we can see hello inside the terminal. Whenever we change any of this, like hello world, then automatically the nodemon will also have changes. Yeah, so now we will open our terminal, and we'll first go to our socket folder by doing cd socket, and then we will write the command nodemon index.js, sorry index.js. Yeah, now sorry, uh, let's do this again. We'll go to our socket folder, socket, and then we'll write nodemon index.js. Now we can see hello world printed, and whenever we do any change in this hello world, like maybe write some gibberish like this and save this, then also this nodemon will automatically render the index.js file, and just show us the new value of our console.log. So yeah, this is the thing. Now we need to start with the functionality of our basic backend part, or the socket.io part. So for that, yeah, so now let's first write import server from socket.io, and after this we will be writing const io, create a variable with the name io, and inside this we'll create a new server. Currently we are not having anything inside of this, but yeah, and then io.on connections socket, and this is an arrow function, so yeah, and we'll just give a semicolon, and lastly we'll write io.listen for making our server to run on some particular port number. So here we'll provide it with 3000 and we'll save this. So there comes an error of the name cannot use import statement outside a module. So for rectifying this problem, we'll go to our package.json file, and outside other than this main, we'll write type, and in type we'll write module, and when we save this, now this will start working. Yeah, so now we'll go to our index.js file for the socket folder, and inside this we'll be writing cors, and we'll give it a origin of http localhost 3000. Now in the io.on we'll write console.log someone has connected, and we'll also provide a socket.on, inside of which for the event disconnect, yeah, for the event disconnect, and if somebody disconnects, then this arrow function will be called or will run, and inside of this we'll just write console.log someone has left. And now when we save this,